So, yeah. Please and thank you. Oops. Anyways. I watched some stuff today, obviously. I tried to stay on the positive aspect, but I went and watched the animals asking people for help kind of thing, and then I was just crying a minute ago. There's nothing worse than hearing an animal or a child of any gender, like flippin' species, crying out for their parent. It like kills me. Honestly, I can't. I broke down and I cried. I'm glad that the elephant got to be with its baby elephant and whatnot, but the cries of the little baby calling for the mother after they tranked the mother and the baby thought that the mother was dead, I was freaking out myself. I was like, holy yeah. I was flipping crying. It was awful. I got all mucusy and whatnot, and it was just I kind of have a shirt like that, only mine's more mint green. But yeah. Normally I'm like, oh, some nice people in the world, some justice going on too, and I watch some flipping crazy stuff. Looking for hope in humanity. It made me even sadder trying to like look for hope in humanity. So it's just like, flip. There's a lot of great people out there, honestly, but then they're just surrounded by people who want to shove them in deep, dark crevices and snuff them out. It's flip. I can't. But anyways, let's play the video game. Let's do our escapism. There were a lot of critters getting things stuck on their head because, starvation leads to going after human type foods and getting jars stuck on your head, obviously. What else? Aren't you sleeping? Am I gonna have to pop your bed like where you were previously? Alright, who was the... I thought I heard something behind me. Who was the other, I should probably bring Alice over here, but Alice is doing her thing in the fancy village. I'm gonna go look for one of the empty beds and then pop it. who is, whoops. Okay. Tried to jump, it didn't work. Just like that time it didn't work. Nobody in here. What the I thought I saw that. How close can monsters be nearby? What? What kind of... Okay. I'm a little ashamed of myself because I am going around and abducting people just because they have cool stuff. No better than the rest of them. These two are safe. What do you have? Efficiency, efficiency. What do you have? No. Efficiency 3. It's for 30 though. How are you hanging out, holding out? Almost look like you have lots of armor and lots of stuff. Wow. Nice super pinated. Alright, let me just drop some of this stuff in here. That's a pretty damn nice gear, honestly. Put the wrong one on. Alright, so... let's see if there's anything I need to take with me. Possibly set that down. Sup? Honestly, I don't think there are 16 in here. No. I don't have anything, I'm sorry. Oh, flip. I am about to go on an adventure like an adventure like no other. Taking that. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot the I kind of want to say trash on the other side, but it's not trash. It's flip. Some sort of nasty flesh stuff. There's a brown sheep in the village. Interestingly enough. I did not dye that sheep. That sheep has never been on a diet. Whee! It's not even as funny. It's usually wordplay humor, but whatever. Hum. I know if I saw somebody doing something really stupid towards a child, I would have no way of stopping myself, and I'd end up getting arrested, and I would sit there pretty. Meaning that I would take the charges, I would understand the charges, and I'd wait for the legal process of being able to leave while having done something possibly very horrific to pedophiles. And I'm just like, it might just happen. I know there's always people saying like, oh yeah, you can control yourself. Like, would and could you, if you saw something happening right in front of you? I don't think I'm strong enough to stop myself. I have few triggers, and that is on the top of the triggers. There's no getting around that. You harm a child in that way, and I find out, it's not oh, he does that and she does that kind of thing. It's me going through all the hard facts and whatnot, and seeing footage and whatnot, or even them doing it right in front. If I catch eyewitness of that, I am going to be the first one to go ape crap. Missing link you didn't even know existed. Something happened, holy flip, I didn't know a little thing like that could rip apart somebody like that. But yeah, no. So it's I'm just like, it's probably going to happen, especially with all of this that I'm hearing is happening in the world, and I'm like, all right, I can't promise things, but I'm going to try to contain myself when it comes to people abusing one another. Oh, you punk. I mean, when it comes to the point where you're the one questioning yourself for wanting to stop something, it's like, there. I could have sworn there's two other. Yeah, okay, they're there. I was like, I'm missing people. Why is there anger? Okay, I need to go on an adventure. So, funny enough, I'm going to be going on an adventure. I'm moving to far off land, far away from what this is. And yeah, that's the sand area. And I'm gonna leave people to what they wanted to begin with, money and lack of responsibility in certain things. And as they sit pretty and go, ha ha ha, you know, they're gonna be crawling back. Nope. Because I was never a gold digger. I've never been a gold digger, and I will never be a gold digger. So, have fun with that one. So I'm gonna go on an adventure. I'm gonna try not to get eaten by a bear. That's gonna be hard, especially when they're going what is that word called? I don't want to say feral because they're not really going feral. They're just getting so used to people and humans that there are kind of some bear attacks that are going on. And people aren't their, what is that word called? Menu of choice, if that makes any sense. Their appetizer of choice. Let me just pull this down here. So I believe it's either the brown bear or the black bear that tries to roll you on your stomach to just eat the contents of your that area. But I learned some nice little tricks of not to let that happen. So that's nifty. And I already knew the 3 triangle method. Don't cook where you eat. Don't eat where you sleep. Well, yeah, you're supposed to cook where you eat, but don't sleep where you eat. Do not store food where you cook. And there was another one. Okay, so the way you set your tent up is you put, yes, a little triangle. At the top of that triangle, you would have your cooking area far away from where your tent, okay? On the other corner, far away from your tent, you want to store your food, but not on ground level. Up in the trees at least, I think they said 40 feet or 40 yards, but I'm gonna try to get it up there, maybe higher if I can. But because you don't want something to be breaking into your tent, some hungry critter breaking into your tent just to get your food. And it's possibly a good idea not to smell like food. I don't normally try to smell like food, but there's been instances where I've been told that I do smell like it. A lot of weird things. Everybody has their own little... I've worked around people and they ask what these weird smells are, and then people just smell me for some weird reason, and they're like, "That's you," and I'm like, "What? Did you just smell me?" And they're like, "Wow, you smell like sugar cookies, or you smell like blueberries and cream." I was like, "What the flip are you smelling me for?" I was like, someone told me I smell like sugar cookies, somebody told me I smell like blueberries and cream, the other person told me I smell like blueberry oatmeal. I'm like, okay, so blueberries, I got a 2 count for that. Somebody told me I smell like a blue raspberry lollipop. And this was a customer. And I was like, hey, at least buy me a drink first. And then he goes to ask me. And I was like, I was married, so I had a ring, and I just put my hand up, and they nodded and then walked off. He passed me like 4 times. I was like, what is this person doing? I asked if he needed help the first time, and he's like, no, I'm just looking for something. And then the flipping the 4th time he passed me, he took a big breath, and he was like this far away from my head, and I was like, what the fuck? I was on my knees in the marshmallow aisle, And I believe I was stalking some of those orange peanut things. Well, no, I was in the candy. Maybe I was in the candy aisle. It was like these weird. Okay, so they had these weird kind of like chocolate. Chocolate covered marshmallow things, and I had just stock of those, and then I turned around and I grabbed another box, and there were some orange peanut things, and they were marshmallows in the size of like size and shape of weird looking peanuts, and I'm just like, okay, and I'm stocking that, and then I go about grabbing some more marshmallows out of this thing, and about ready to stock that, and this person gets this far away from my head and breathes in, like you hear the intake of their air, and I felt the heat behind me, and I like freeze on it. Only thing that came out of my mouth, well, at least buy me a drink first. I don't go out to, I don't go out to like bars or anything. I was just like, I was in shock, and that's the first thing that came to my head and out of my mouth. And he had said blue raspberry, and I was like, what? I was like, flip. I was like, okay, what is this weird fascination with people trying to smell me? I was like, is this a new custom I'm unaware of? I mean, what is this? It's like, when did like body space not become a thing? And it was a customer, and the person I was helping, the person I was helping in that department, they came over. They were a female, and she was like, did he just smell you? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, yeah, I saw him walking back and forth, but did he really just smell? I was like, yeah. And then she's like, wow. And I was like, right? So I was like, okay, so that's really not a custom. That's really, really not a custom. And then, someone came back in the back room, had like walked by twice, and then they were like, all right, whoever has those tropical gummy bears, you better share because those are my favorite. And I was like, what? And everybody else is looking at him like he's crazy. They're like, we're not allowed to eat in the back room. And he was like, he's like, I swear to you, I smell them. I can smell those a mile away. I know they're in here. Just give me a few. And I was like, what does it smell like? And he was like, tropical gummy bears, like pina colada or something. And I was like, oh, those are my favorite ones, the clear gummy bears. And then we were like sitting there, and I was like, it might be me. And he was like, what? He was like, you don't smell like a tropical gummy bear. And I was like, I get told all the time I smell like weird things, but just go ahead. And he got like maybe this close, and he was like, no crap. And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, are you wearing anything? And I was like, some raspberry spray. He's like, no. I was wearing some raspberry spray, and I've been told that it smelled like vanilla. Also, to me it smelled pretty damn bad, but I couldn't afford anything else, and I had like, it was like $10, and there was like a bottle this big. I wasn't gonna just not, use it all. I don't like wasting things. So I sat there with this nasty raspberry spray, because when I first got it, it smelled great, but it got left in the sun, and body spray doesn't go well in like sun. It's like, no, it's like, F you, I am sour now, prepare to stink like an alcoholic person. So I kept wearing it. It even turned a darker color, and I was like, I'm just putting putrid like fruit on me. Ugh. But it just it was what it was. I don't know why. It's just like I've had maybe 12 to 13 people possibly just smell me at random. I had someone who liked to give me a hug all the time, and I didn't know her well enough, and I had asked her not to, and I'd asked her and this other female not to because I didn't feel comfortable, and I felt like I was kind of what is that word? Coerced into it, because they were just like, you're my favorite person, and I'm like, yeah, okay. It's like, I'm really not a touchy-feely person when it comes to, like, But anyways, there was this other person who also liked to hug me, but anyways, this one female said I smelled like a sugar cookie, and then a few other times she said that I always smell like a vanilla cupcake, and I was like, wait. I was like, last time you told me I smelled like a sugar cookie. She's like, she gave me another hug, and she's like, yep. It's a cross between a sugar cookie and one of those, ooh, they're coming after me. I thought they were gonna go by. One of those vanilla cupcakes you just come out of the oven, and I was like, okay. Someone told me I smelled like an apple pie once. Just some old guy walked past, and he just goes, he's like, I like you, you smell like an apple pie. And I'm like, thank you. I was like, I like apple pie. He's like, so do I. And he just walked on by. And I was like, okay. So I had two people, well, one said blue raspberry, one said like that blue raspberry lollipop, the whatchamacallit. I'm trying to think of the brand name that it actually smelled like. I was like, I wasn't really thinking of anything at the time. I was just throwing down some candy and helping out another associate, because there's supposed to be like 2 people in the candy department, and this I got finished doing what I was doing, and I decided to ask if she needed any help, because last time I saw her she was really upset because they had, not only whenever she moved all the pallets out of her little candy section, they moved a whole lot of other things in the way, and she's like, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this anymore. She's like, I asked them to move it. I asked them not to put it there, and then they go about filling it in after I put it, I move it and I find somewhere else for it. And I was like, okay. All right, I see that this is like hurting you. Let's do this together. I was like, do you have anything that you need binned in right now? She's like, okay, yeah, I have this. I was like, I'm going to move all of this pallet. You take what you need for the floor, and I will bin in your candy. And she's like, well, I like it in certain places. I was like, walk me through it. I'm right here for you. And I saw her way of putting it and everything. Technically, she didn't have anything binned in at the time, and I had to do an inventory on her stuff. And I even created like a little drop bin for her, so that if she had any excess candy, that she could, just drop it in that drop bin and then be able to pull it out when she needed to. They ended up giving her a, what is that called? A Talzon. Gemini Talzon. After that, so that she always had one to pull and pick her stuff out. Bin and pull. Because I was asked what was I doing, and I said I'm done with my stuff, and she's like, oh well, the manager over me at the time, she's like, oh well, I have some other stuff for you. I said, no, I'm currently doing something right now. And she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, okay, you see this? And she's like, oh yeah, that's candy. And I was like, is candy not a part of grocery? And she's like, well, it kind of is. I was like, aren't we supposed to help our neighbors? And she's like, you do what you gotta do. When you're finished with that, I will be here. And I was like, all right. So I fixed the candy department. Well, at least the that little corner of the candy department in a little bit of time. I got everything binned in properly. I had to empty all the bins because it had stuff in there that wasn't even in there. And I was like, okay, this is going to create hassle for the counts. Let's do this first. So after I dumped the bins, and then I binned everything that was in there, then I started pulling off the pallet and the already word carts. And I got everything looking all nice and pretty by the name brands of which she liked to have the candy in those spots, which was happy time for her and happy time for the vendors who needed to play with that as well. She was a really sweet lady too. But I was like, you wouldn't want anyone else playing with the candy other than her, because it just reflected how sweet she really was, I was happy to have done her a service in that department. I got her squared away. I told management not to let people block that because it was a safety hazard, and you're not supposed to be blocking bins that you're supposed to be getting in and out of. And they said that they were going to work on it, and I was like, that's grand, that's fantastic. I was like, that will definitely help out the candy department, and I'm telling you, sales are going to be fantastic. They were. She had a better process of getting through her stuff than most departments afterwards, and she just kept it in the way she wanted it, and it was fantastic. But yeah, the one story leads to another. My apologies. I had this one customer who would always go through my the department that I was in. What was it? Hardware. He would go through the hardware department eating pistachio nuts, okay? First time I saw him, he cracked one, chucked the side out of the shell of the nut down, and he said he was gonna pay for it, and I was like, okay. And I was just, doing the safety sweep, and I noticed that there was quite the trail behind him. So I grabbed a dustpan, started sweeping up the trail, and I followed him just a smidge around, and apparently he had he had been eating that bag of pistachio nuts for a while, I guess since grocery, because maintenance ended up coming up to my department and said, have you seen like a bag of pistachios anywhere? And I was like, here's your customer right here. And he looked at the customer, and he was just going through each one of my the aisles that I was working around, and he wasn't bothered by me. I wasn't bothered by him. I was just, zoning, and then every so often he'd move and then throw some stuff, and then I'd go about pick up the the dustpan, and then sweep it up. So it was like I had the dustpan and the broom right next to me, and I'd sat there and I was putting up these extension cords. People like to open those things, even though it says 3 feet, and we had this little sign stating what 3 feet was, and like and the sign of like 6 feet. It didn't matter. People still like to pull out the extension cords to see how big 3 feet is, and so you would have a whole bunch of extension cords popped open. It's like, okay. So I was just sitting there winding them up, putting them back in their package. This is what we were taught to do. And he was just sitting there looking at the stuff, and then moseying. Well, he was in a cart, so he was just like moseying about. I'm going to throw that potato down. He rammed my ladder once. That customer. I was putting up a display, and it was on an end cap, and I got down and I moved the ladder so that they could get by, and he said that he wasn't gonna hit me, and I was like, I am sure you're not, sir. And he's like, you're ways away from hardware, and I was like, they have me working over here today, sir. And he was like, I walked by looking for you, and I was like, did you need help finding something? I can walk you over there and help you find it. He was like, no, I just missed our chats. And I was like, oh, okay. We never chat anything. I just follow him around with some I just clean up after him. That's all. I mean, but he meandered off in the little cart, and then came back around while I was back up in the on the ladder, and I was like maybe 3 steps from the top of it. I'm fixing a sign. The numbers of the sign. I'm just pulling some off, and then I noticed him. He's like, I'm not gonna hit you, and he came up and rammed the ladder. He rammed the ladder, and I clutched onto the ladder like it was my only lifeline. And I got down off the ladder pretty damn quick, and I was like, did you need help with anything, sir? And he was like, you're all right, you know that? And I was like, yeah, okay. I was like, is there anything I can help you with today, sir? He's like, no. He's like, I'm just testing your reflexes. I was like, how'd I do? He's like, well, you didn't fall. I was like, okay. All right, I didn't fall. Oh, sure as heck, I didn't ever go up on a ladder when there was somebody walking around though. It's like, dude, some customers got really interesting with people. Like, scary interesting. He sure did make it into my memory banks though. Oh, I used to have people come up to me and ask me all kind of different questions. Like this one male asked me for some legal advice, and I told him that I wasn't a lawyer and that I couldn't give him any legal advice, but that situation sounded pretty damn bad, and he might want to actually get a lawyer, because I think he might honestly have had a case with that. I don't want to, spread somebody's business like that, but still, it's just like, wow. What is that? Oh, they're eyeballs. I was like, what the fuck is that? I'm gonna fill up these and then try to see if I can make a lot of sand, well, a lot of glass out of the sand. Trying to think of some other interesting tidbits that just interesting, not horrifying. We're trying to keep away from that. Got told once that I wasn't allowed to have my hair color. And I was like, wait, what? So they had this policy at one point where it was just people trying to get attention, honestly, because the actual policy was not anything like that. Personnel, they had said that they liked my hair color and that there was nothing wrong with my hair color. At the time, I had an auburn, kind of maroon color. It's pretty much like a dark cherry, maybe. And the personnel said that there was nothing wrong with it, that there was nothing in the code of conduct or the dress apparel of why they'd be harassing me on that hair color, especially when most people around the area got weaves of that color during certain seasons and whatnot. I was like, wait, really? This is a seasonal color? I was like, this is $2 on the clearance aisle. I was like, okay, like, let's do it. I was looking for a change. I wanted to see my hair that color, I guess, you know? But, they had started sending people home with that hair color, and I was like, what? I was like, dude, I was like, maybe you should, like, I went back to personnel. I was like, maybe you should, like, print out that policy for me. And they're like, okay. And so I walked around with a copy of that policy. It was just like, no, you just needed to be well presented, clean hair, proper uniform attire, and that was basically it. And I was like, okay. Nowhere did it say you needed a natural hair color, because they were trying to push for a natural hair color, and I was like, there are people walking around with gold in their hair and blue in their hair and white in their hair. Oh, those are natural hair colors. I was like, right. Sure. I am so sure that blue is a natural hair color. But yeah, and then there were bright reds and whatnot, and they they said that if I were to have it a lighter shade, that um, I just think people were bored, honestly. Because when people end up getting bored, they end up making up new rules to harass people. And I'm just like, what? I was like, please, somebody just get me the policy. I want to know why. Just, please. The store manager even said, what are they talking about? And I was like, I don't know. She even said that she had that color in her hair at one point, and I was like, what? Really? And then I got that like, cross eye, like, how dare you not notice that I had that color in my hair at one point. I was like, I had never seen that color in her hair. But it's like, okay, maybe it was only for a week. Maybe I was out at the time. I mean, I don't know. Oh, there were a few times when people put into question the hygiene of, what is it called, for the food prep area. They were saying, oh, you can't have this and you can't have that. First they said that you could have earrings, and they had to be hoop earrings, and then you couldn't have earrings, and then they had to be studs, and then it went to you couldn't have earrings at all. And I was like, alright, you weren't allowed to have any face piercings, you weren't allowed to have facial hair, and if you did have facial hair, you had to have a beard mask over it. Yes, I wore my beard mask all the time. I had the loveliest beard ever. I'm joking. I can't grow a beard. I am so jelly. But anyways, well, if you ever saw me swing an axe, you would consider why. But, sorry. But anyways, there were a lot of rules that kept coming into question, but then being like just revoked right after. I was like, what are they doing? I was like, who are they trying to fire? Who are they trying to fire now? What is going on? And then you couldn't have a tongue ring, but then you could have a tongue ring, but yet you had to have it like a flat type of tongue ring. I don't have a tongue ring. And they were, oh my goodness, they were like, you need to remove your tongue ring. And I was like, I don't even have a piercing. They're like, stick out your tongue. And I was like, what? And I had to stick out my tongue. And they were like, why are we getting complaints that you have a tongue ring? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, wow. And then they were like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And I was like, okay. I was like, are they gonna start saying that I have some sort of like nose ring or lip ring next? I mean, what about some other things? Are we gonna have to go past some scanners? And they're just like, just drop it. And I was like, okay, alright, sure. Dropping it. I don't understand people sometimes. Alright, so I got 20 on this one. 17 on that one. Should be good. Make a whole bunch of torches. Oh, no. Alright. Now I can move this here. And that there. And throw down these. Okay, that makes more sense. Alright, I'm gonna go back and grab more. Because I'm gonna need a lot of sand for a lot of windows. I don't know why. I once made my hair a lighter blonde color, and it ended up causing a stir. But after, okay, so let me just tell you a little story. So there was this one manager who asked me, seeing how I was part of the back room, what would be best for the back room. And I was like, well, if they put everything by aisle, they would significantly increase the picking time as well as the binning time. As long as you have all the heavy stuff on the bottom and all the... Oh, let me grab that. Damn it! For flip's sake. Alright, so the picking time and the binning time would significantly go, down. It would make it more efficient. So, well, she takes this idea and then claims it all her own, but not after the fact that, because I was on this little dyeing kick of, dyeing my hair different shades of colors and whatnot, different, sometimes black, sometimes maroon, just things that were on sale at the time. I was just like, yeah, whatever. Nothing that was too harsh for the hair, if that made any sense. Well, she said that she's always wanted to have her hair color like black on top and then blue on the bottom. And we talked about the blue colors and everything, and so I kind of got the the basis of what she would dye her hair, because she had gave me a compliment on the color that I had at the moment, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And as I was telling her how this process could work, and we were sitting there compiling, and I had written out a little diagram where, this could be aisle this and that and this and that and that. And then I was like, and for the Goya, they could have this end one right there, and you put most of the heavy stuff on the bottom, and all the lighter stuff, like their cookies and stuff, you can put that on top, because it's only 2 flipping rings right there, like 2, but anyways, we work all that together. I pretty much did the whole thing, and she takes the credit for the work, doesn't give me any credit for it. And I'm just like, okay, that's pretty much what some managers do. I understand she's trying to get a leg up in the company. All right. And then she acts like it's all her idea when she's talking to me, and I'm like, okay, all right. I will be petty. I will be petty. So next day, I came in with my hair blue on the bottom and black on the top, and she goes, oh, she's like, that's how I wanted my hair. And I was like, what? No, I came up with this on my own. And then she looked at me, and then she went, and I was like, what is this? Is this something you wanna say? And she's like, I understand. And I was like, okay. I was like, we can keep it at this, but if you want to continue. And she said, no, we'll keep it like this. We'll just keep it like this. And then she started cracking down on a flipping the colors. So that came back around again. And I had to walk around with my, it was petty. It was really petty. I went about dyeing my hair color the same as she's always wanted it. I can admit to it. It was super petty. None of all the things I could have done was that the worst. I could have sat there and told them to check the cameras. I could have sat there and told them that she's a liar. I could have sat there and said, wow, you really like to steal other people's ideas and profit off of them. You really like to take other associates' names and, throw them under the bus and whatnot. I could have went like that, but no, I just decided to dye my hair a color she's always wanted. But she decided to take it further. And then she had two other managers behind her on this fact. And I was like, alright, can't trust these three managers. Got that. They're gonna be petty. I wasn't trying to take her down. I was expecting maybe a little bit of a thank you, because she used my whole floor design, my whole idea, and passed it off as her own. And all I did was dye my hair. It's like, wow. But, you know. Oh, goody. There was another manager. She was honestly stealing from the store I was working at. And they had moved her to the apartment above me. Like, they moved her to a, she was in the cash office, okay? And apparently everyone she kept hiring was stealing money, and it was never her fault. Well, all of these people had not been stealing money. She was the one stealing money and firing people under false claims. So with her being my manager, which was fun, she took all the credit of all of the associates as what she had done all day, but yet she was sitting there in McDonald's, not doing a damn thing but sucking on her her sweet tea and raking in that big bucks. I thought it was hilarious when she tried to sit there and accuse me of, um, she tried to tell me that I got her in a car crash twice. I was like, Madam, I don't even drive. How did I get you in a car crash? I could ride my bicycle. Did you try to hit me? What is going on? And she's like, no. She's like, it's your fault. And I was like, what? What? I was like, how exactly is that my fault? I was like, if you can't drive, maybe you should go back and get some lessons, you know? I was like, how the flying flip did I get you in a car crash? So, the first car crash she ended up getting in, she got in with her older son, because it was all over the apartment. People were talking about it. They were, hush, hush, whisper, whisper, but everybody knew. While she was gone, everything was rolling blissfully smooth because she wasn't doing anything to begin with. I mean, legit, she wasn't doing anything. I was doing everything. The price changes, the flipping rollbacks, the negatives, the flipping counts, the ordering, I even had a little list for all the associates to do certain things, like a check-off list for them. And I was right there working alongside them. It's like, don't force on others what you can do yourself, but it always helps when there's a little help. But anyways, so everybody's mood was fantastically better. People were getting credit for the work they did. They were, flipped. They were just so happy. And we had some new associates, and I was just like, wow, this is fantastic, they're not taking the associates to groceries, things are getting better, there's lots of, new associates who are actually staying because their work is being appreciated, and it's not, they're not being thrown on their bus for anything. I mean, the big bully is not around, and I was feeling pretty good about being thrown into this manager role. When I had not applied for this role, I was only being told that I was going to babysit this role for a little bit, but that's another story. Oof. There were some illegal things that happened in order for them to get around that one. But anyways, she was gone, everything was fine, and the managers were like, wow, you're doing really good without any guidance. And I was like, okay. And they were like, you're actually doing better. And I was like, yeah. Because I wasn't having some stupid assignments being put on me to waste my time and redirect me in an area that I was not supposed to be in. So with this, they were pulling me to other departments to help those managers. And I was like, okay. And I tried to teach them how I was doing it, and they were like, I ain't got time for that, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay. I was like, but you're supposed to be grabbing your deleted, and oh no, we only do that around inventory. I was like, no. You have deleted back there, you do that every time. Deleted must go first. I was like, you find a little section, you put some of the little deleted out, and then you slowly move out some bigger stuff when you have more room. I mean, it's not that hard. It's not rocket science. But no, it's too much. So I had to do this myself, and so my helping was me actually doing it for them, and then they sat there and tried to take credit for it. And I had a few managers who had asked me how things were going while I was doing it, and asked me where that person was, and I had said I do not know. I was like, you might want to, check in on them, because I haven't seen them, and I'd check my time, and then I'd tell them how long. And they're like, you're doing all this by yourself? I was like, yep. So that didn't work out well for them, because the managers who actually were there actually saw that I was the only one doing it. There's a lot of people just getting paid to do nothing, which was really stupid and not good for anybody. It was pretty much they were stealing from the company like that. But she'd come back from her accident after like 3 to 4 weeks, and she had this little bubble cast on and a sling, and she was saying how she had to be gentle with herself. I was like, oh yeah, it's, be gentle. I was like, yeah, you don't want to lift anything with that. I was like, well, good thing all you have to do is just focus on some of this stuff right here, and which was like just organizing some smaller stuff and looking at the reports and whatnot. Oh no, I ain't got time for that. I gotta heal. And I was like, well, you can always, kind of go heal. And they're like, oh, but you were doing it so well without me. I was told by many of the people, and I was like, oh, okay. She got in another car crash like 3 days later. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, is she okay? I was like, what's going on? So she got in a car crash with her youngest, and her eldest had to come bail her out because she mucked up her car even worse than she had before. And when she came back after 2 to 3 weeks, she had blamed it on me, and I was like, what? And she said that I was doing something with the devil, and I was like, what? I was like, wait, so when did I become familiar with the devil in order to curse you? I was like, I'm sorry, madam, I have not spoken to the devil as of late, and I don't ask him to fight my battles, for one. And for two, your work speaks volumes of yourself. And she asked what did I mean by that, and I said that I was pretty sure she understood what I meant by that, and then I got called to the ad office. And she was trying to say that I was stealing people's work, and I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, no. I'm like, you're trying to steal other people's work. You've been trying to steal other people's work. You haven't even been here, and you're claiming that you had done this and that. And she's like, oh, but I called and told you. And I was like, no, you didn't. And she's like, yeah, I have your cell phone. And I was like, I don't even have a cell phone. How the hell did you call me? And she's like, yeah, you gave me the number. And I was like, I legit don't have one. I said, I am poor. I have no cell phone. I had no this. Dude. It wasn't until my ex left that, well, I kind of kicked my ex out, until I actually got a cell phone, and then I was told I got the wrong type of cell phone. So then I had 2 cell phones. One that was actually for work, and then the other was for like some sort of like, I had to have an Android because that's how I could talk to somebody via Facebook or something. And I was like, what the hell is Facebook? Yeah, I was that out of the loop. But so she was trying to sit there and claim that she had my number, and I was like, I don't even have a number at the time. And she's like, yeah, you do. So like, we just talked, and I was like, we've never talked. And she's like, oh, stop lying and blah blah blah. Everybody has a cell phone. And they had called my ex in to ask him if I had a cell phone. And he was like, no, we can't afford 2 cell phones. He was the only one that had a phone. So if crap happened while he was away, nope, there was no way I could call anyone. Nothing. So I had a few managers sitting there trying to tell him that, and because obviously he wouldn't listen to me about that, I was like, if you have the cell phone, how is it that I'm supposed to call you at work? I was like, it only makes sense if you leave the cell phone behind so that I could call you at work. Yeah. I'm telling you, Nancy Frampies, they're everywhere. But suffice to say, I had moved away from there, and the person I was talking to, who was a friend that actually did get my cell phone number after, well, he was asking me for relationship advice because he was just getting into a relationship, and he was, like middle-aged and whatnot. He was scared and he needed some advice. And so I was, that lending ear and whatnot, so I was helping him out with him and his girlfriend. I mean, I wasn't like, doing Shakespearean stuff, but he would ask me what this meant if a girl says this or that, and I was like, okay, well, this is what that means, okay? And he was like, okay, thank you. And then he would go about his business. And like, first time she was on her period, he was freaking out. He was like, I don't know what I did, but she's just so pissed off. I was like, is she on her period? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, well, don't ask her. Is she consuming? I was like, don't ask her first. I was like, is she consuming a lot of chocolate and sweets? Because you get cravings when you're on your period, and your blood sugar will like kind of go low, and you'll need some stuff, okay? Well, he was like, okay, yeah, maybe. And I was like, okay, well, if you notice that she's just yelling about nothing at all, and then starts getting kind of emotional, you want to be there for her, but don't smother. You don't want to be like, up her butt about this, okay? Ask if she needs some chocolate, not in a condescending voice. Just say, I'm going to the store. Do you want me to pick you up a candy bar or whatever? And if she says yes, get the candy bar she needs. Make sure it's the candy bar she wants. Grab a few extra, because she might have changed her mind along the way. Just, be patient. She's gonna be really hormonal and whatnot. Like, technically, anything you're doing right now is probably you're the devil, okay? It's not personal. People just go a little, bonker crazy, like whenever they're on their period because of the hormone fluctuations. Some people get intensely violent, other people get really emotional to the point where they're crying over everything. Sometimes you get a mixed version of that where they're angry 1 second and then they're crying the next second, and then they're saying how much they love you and then they hate you the next second. Me, I just go quiet and I avoid. And I'm just like, you don't want to talk to me? Call me in a week. Call me in 2 weeks. I am not pleasant company right now. We're good? We're good. All right. It's like I'm not avoiding you on purpose. I just can't stand the world right now. Okay? All right. It's like if I can't even stand myself, then I can't stand anybody else. And that's how bad you get when you're on your period. It gets really bad. It's like I hate I hate being on my period because it's like nature put your organs in a blender and then said like, okay, hold that, and then crashed your emotions and scrambled them up to the point where you don't know whether you're upset or you're happy or you're kind of sad at the moment. And then just hit it on puree and then like forgot about it for a few and then turned it off and then like, oh, here, let me help you, and then put it back on puree. That is what your organs feel like. They have some wondrous technology nowadays that people can honestly feel what some of these, I think they're called period simulators. They're not giving you the full extent of it because the hormonal imbalance is just as bad. So it's psychologically as well as like you're physically drained, you feel sick, you feel nauseous, then you feel angry, and then like spiteful and all kind of things. But anyways, I was trying to give him a little bit of advice, and he would say, thank you and whatnot, and I was like, that's good, we're cool, okay. And then he had given me some news before my phone had died and I lost the number and everything, and it had been up 10 years until I just got this new one. But yeah. So he had given me the news of they finally caught her, and I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, well, he's like, well, you know your favorite ZMS, and I was like, what? I was like, who's my favorite ZMS? He's like, well, the one who used to work over you. And I was like, wait, I don't understand what you're talking about. He was like, and then he said her name, and I was like, oh yeah, I was like, I think I just mentally blocked that part of my life. And he had said that they caught her in the cash room stealing, and I was like, what? I was like, no. And he was like, yeah, and she had fired 16 people before they caught her actually stealing. And I was like, whoa, and this was only this time, right? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, how many people's lives did she just ruin out of that? I mean, I was like, karma's gonna hit her harder than those 2 cars hit her. I was like, and she sat there and she told me that I was working with the devil and stuff. I was like, you're stealing people's money and then flipping blaming it on other people. What do you mean I'm dealing with the devil? Holy F. I was like, some people, I tell you what, they'd sooner blame you for doing some kind of occult crap than actually take ownership of their flippin' karma. I was like, what the flip? Ah. I pity anyone who sits there and tries to run away from karma. They're just gonna double it, possibly triple it. And it's like, oh, how many times did you run away this time? Oh, it's just. It's like, I don't ask people to fight my battles, spiritual or otherwise. I'm pretty content in watching karma do its thing. I may get a little giggle out of it. Like those insta karma things. I'm like, okay, well, what the hell did they do to deserve that? I don't want to do that. I was like, I don't want that to happen to me. What just, fill me in on what happened, okay? It's like, I definitely don't want to face plant out of a golf cart for sitting there and telling somebody to rev it. Like, what? I was like, how is that insta karma? But then you see these people try to kick a dog and then fall on their butt. I'm like, yeah, that's karma right there. I was like, if karma didn't do anything, I'd sit there and I'd probably chuck a rock at the person just for trying to hit a stray dog. I was like, wow, you gotta be some piece of work to sit there and attack something that's already that low. Not that dogs are low, but they're out on the street trying to survive. And you're sitting there trying to make it worse for them? It's like, dude, instead of like calling someone like one of those non-kill relief centers for animals, you're sitting there trying to hit it with your foot while it's trying to sit there and sniff in a trash can or something for some food. I'm like, whoa, dude. Sometimes people are just really awful. But yeah. And then you see these awesome people who have these shelters, who let in all these dogs and these kitties and sometimes these horses, keep them from a glue factory or like a meat processing plant because they've outrun their racing years. I was like, holy F, these animals have served you faithfully and you made money off of them. And you're sitting there trying to like cut them up? Sell their body parts? What the flip is wrong with you? It was like, not to mention some of the torture that some of them have undergone just to get that speed and whatnot. I'm like, wow. Some people are just mucked up. Trying to think of some other interesting karma. Oh, this one guy was trying to push this chick into the water, but she ended up moving and then pushing him in, which I was like, okay, yeah, that's kind of legit. He was trying to be a flippin' jerk, and they got him in instead of them getting them in. So it's like, okay, yeah, I can see that. That's pretty justice-like. But some of these insta karmas aren't even insta karma. They're just like, oh, someone had an accident. Oh, well, that sucks. I was like, what did that person do to deserve, like, tumbling over, It's like, was it because they were drunk? What the hell? I was like, oh yeah, karma gets you because you're gonna get plastered, and then your friends are gonna videotape you, and I'm sorry, your frenemies are gonna videotape you, and then share those videos for profit. It was like, are you trying to call out your douchey friend, or are they trying to call out themselves? It's like, maybe karma should visit those people. Maybe instead of being one of those douchey friends, they could be a friend that actually sits there and tries to deal with the problems of that person. Like, hey, what's wrong? Do you want to talk about it? Instead of let's go out and get flippin' smashed and then I'm gonna take pictures of you while you're inebriated or whatever. It's like, wow. It's kind of really icky. Not are they like calling themselves out for being an awful friend, but they're sitting there like, oh, I'm only friends with them because they get like wasted, so that I can post videos and have content on how wasted they are. I'm like, dude, if you're even half the friend you should be, you people wouldn't be getting like drunk. You'd be going out and like doing some fun stuff, and then you'd have plenty of content. All the little adventures that you do. Holy flip, you could go to a damn, I'm sure people go to like pedicures and stuff and sit there and videotape your conversation about some views on something. Who knows? People like pedicures. There's a lot of people who like feet out there, which is weird. But I'm like, okay, yeah, feet are good. Well, you have more actual nerve endings, and a lot of your nerves are in your feet. I don't know if they're nerve endings or whatnot, but there's a lot of nerves in your feet, and if you think of it this way, you're holding up your whole body with your feet most of the time, okay? So there's a lot of stimuli going on with your feet. You're walking, you're standing, you're dealing with that, and if you consider some of these foot guides, like when you go to massage someone's feet, they have each little spot of the foot leading back to another organ, so you're supposed to feel it, and those parts of the foot in your organ, like if you have like some tension in this or some tension in that, you're gonna feel it in this part of your foot. I'm like, that's interesting, but it totally kind of works. Let me just see what I can throw down. I kind of want that. I could use the last of that. Okay. But, yeah, so I don't know why other people like feet, but I found that interesting. Your hands are just as sensitive, and your hands actually have, well, almost as sensitive, but your hands have some organ-related things as well. Like certain types of tensions in your hands will actually result in like different tensions in your back as well, which is interesting. I was like, wow, that's pretty nifty. you give me a moment, I'll pick up, like, I'll pull up a foot guide kind of thing, so I know that I'm not mucking up and telling you what parts are what. So we'll look at it together. I wasn't trying to be a masseuse or anything. I was just trying to figure out why people like feet. It's like, I know why I like feet, because, you know, when you're massaging someone's like feet, they're just like, oh, this is amazing, I love you, and I'm like, wow, okay, cool. But yeah. Alright, I don't want to get stuck. I hear the whatchamacallit out there already. Okay, so while we're waiting for morning, let's see. Website. Okay, we're gonna exit that, and then DuckDuckGo. Here we go. Foot chart. Let's see if I can't get the Alright, so it's kind of going weird on me right now, so I'm gonna have to try to get this and then that. Okay, so we'll go after this one. This one's interesting too. So images, pop that one up. Okay, so lung and heart, the spinal region. So everything is kind of like, you know, organized and ratioed due to this and that. I guess these like nerves on your feet lead to those types of places, like stomach, gallbladder, ascending colon. What is this one say? Descending colon, ascending colon, shoulder, that's a shoulder, that's arms, sinuses, the neck is the pink, what else is the pink? Liver, stomach, waistline. So anyways, and then I think there's like a hand chart too. And reflexology chart. Okay, so yeah, this one does some of the organs as well. Pop that up. So neck, ear, arm, shoulder, and whatnot. Head, brain, sinuses. Sorry. Pituitary. Oh, I didn't know the little thumb part was. That's a part of your brain. So, anyways, I'm sure you can find out. Then you got some stomach, liver, gallbladder, pancreas, bladder. There's some other stuff, but I mean, like, most of the parts of your body lead obviously to other parts of your body. So let me just get this back up going, and then I'll go back in here. But yeah, so I try to find things that, like, out, and then I find other things. So then it's just like, okay, well, at least I'm learning something. And then there's like some palm reading stuff, and I can't quite understand it, but I'm like, okay, so I was like, technically, I'm supposed to have billions of children, and then the anyways, here I go. But yeah. So that's fun. Oh, and I meet someone after death. I'm like, that's a good time to meet somebody. I mean, that's fantastic. I was like, I'd like to find somebody who knows how to read it for real, just to see what they say about this, because like this is like my heart line, that my love connection line, and this is supposed to be my the heart line. This is my lifeline, and that's the heart line. I don't know what that is. It's been a while since I've looked. I'm sorry. So whenever the heart line connects with the lifeline, that's when you're supposed to find your true love and whatnot. I'm like, well, damn, I'm gonna die a few times before then. And I was like, this is where I die, and then this is where I meet somebody after I'm dead. I'm like, oh, I gotta stay like that necro stuff. Well, whatever. I was like, will I even be present? Anyways, so I mean, I was like, I think I'm possibly reading this wrong. But yeah, anyways. So yeah, cause the first time it branches off is like right there, and then something else happens down here, and then the next time it branches off, it doesn't connect until I'm dead, and I'm like, oh good. There's gonna be like a mortician like who's gonna fall in love with me or something, and like, oh damn, I missed it. You know, well, oh, okay, so they want to be, you know, whatever. Anyways, I don't know. That's why I said I need somebody to read my paw. Somebody! But I was like, make sense of this, because I can't with the little guides. Let me swap this around so I can get some good stuff for that. Oh, look at that. There's a traveling merchant. So I believe in certain superstitions, not all of them. Like, I'm like, what? Why would they pick on black cats like that? I was like, black cats are like one of the luckiest cats in the whole flippin' known existence. And they're sitting there saying that they're bad luck. I was like, you're bad luck. And I found out that people like to use black cats as an accessory during Halloween. I was like, what kind of crazy people are these people? And then, like, some of these establishments need to, like, not really establishments, but adoption centers, as well as, pet stores, they won't even allow the cats to be adopted within a certain time frame for this, because these people only get them as a prop, and they don't feed them, they don't care or nurture them. They just they keep them in like the carrying case and let them starve. And I'm like, what the flip? I was freaking out. I was like, death to those people! No! I was like, holy flip. And then back in the ages, back in the way back days, there were people who thought that putting black cats in your flippin' houses was to stave off evil spirits. I was like, holy flip! So people who are renovating their houses are finding cats in their flipping walls, and they're going, what the flip is this? They're staving away evil. Like, are you flipping kidding me? Psychos. I'm just like, I wanna go back in time and just like backhand some of these people. Take the cat away from them and say, no! No! I'll flippin' time jump back with a damn cat. Have a whole bunch of like prehistoric cats or something, you know, eventually. I'll go way in the future. Flip that, man. Aw. Accidentally got this cat, well not cat, but the llama stuck. It's alright, llama, I got you. I know you're not gonna like this, but I'm gonna give you this pretty necklace. You're free! Alright, so oh, wow, look at all the horse. But yeah, a lot of people had some weird superstitions. People would put toads in like bottles with like sand and tinkrets and stuff, and I'm like, whoa, what are they doing? Don't they know these sacrifices are gonna come back and haunt them? It's like, ugh. Some people are like crazy. It's like, if you don't know about karma, you're gonna find out one way or another. You take little innocent creatures and you're not eating them, and you're just like going about and flipping cruelly shoving them in the walls and starving them to death. What the flip do you think is gonna happen? It's like, I'm not gonna find a time machine, but I will find someone who does, and I'm gonna be like, hey, any cats that you find out there that people are trying to stuff in the walls, just take them out. Bring them back to me. I'll take care of them. I'll have like a cat farm. I'm serious. I'm gonna have a cat farm one day. I'll be just some crazy cat lady taking all the cats. It's like, oh, we didn't even know that was a breed. No, that's just, no, don't worry about it. It's my cat. Alright, let me grab some of these. Like, people are like, no, you should go back and kill this person and that person. I'm like, no, shut up. The cats need more. I'm not gonna get in trouble for taking the cats. I can assure you I'm not gonna get in trouble for taking the cats. Well, let me grab that. Okay, so out of all of the cats that you've ever met, do you know of any that have displaced any type of like time traveling mojo, mobo jojo, whatever? I'm sure you can, fathom. Are there any displacements of cat genetics that is going to wreck the existence of humanity if I save a cat from being thrown in a wall for somebody's silly superstition who already thinks that they're in the wall? Do you think that that cat's in being thrown in walls is going to save anyone? I mean, is this going to break the very fabric of existence? No? You sure? I'll be going after the frogs next. I like frogs. I like toads. I used to have a little garden toad. Came out every time it was raining. Dance around my little garden area. Well, I mean, he didn't go like this, but he would jump over and then he'd play on the, well, there were some, they called them elephant ears. I don't know their technical term, but they had these leaves that were like this big, and the water would just hit just right so that it would get this close to the toad's head, and then it would sit there and just like take a little shower, and then it'd move around. And then I was like, this is so cute. And I was like, oh wow, I'm like kind of watching a I'm watching a toad take a shower, and then I felt kind of weird and awkward about it. I was like, it's like technically I'm out in the rain too, so you know, we're both kind of taking a shower together, a natural shower. But yeah, it would end up going into my other part of the garden and then digging itself in. And I was like, you're hiding in my flower bed? Okay. All right. That's cool. I was like, I don't dig in that side because I had a potato bed where I was growing some potatoes. And then I had a little like kind of red container where I was growing broccoli, but I didn't have the heart to cut it, so when it started blooming, I was eating the yellow flowers. Yeah, those yellow flowers were amazing. They're good for a garnish too. Tastes just like broccoli. I didn't have the heart to chop down the broccoli. As soon as they said that no, you have to cut down the whole head, I was like, I nurtured this from a little seed. I was like, I can't do it. I was like, I can't do it. I was like, I chopped down the whole thing. I was like, no. No, not happening, not happening. So then I went about just picking off the little flowers, and there were a lot of white butterflies that ended up landing on my little broccoli plant, and then they ended up putting a lot of little eggs on it, and I was like, wow, I mean, it's nature, I mean, whatever. The potato plant survives. Okay, I don't kill my potato plant. I irrigate it, if that makes sense. What I used to do is like dig out underneath it, and the ones that were, cause like I'd get potatoes like this big. They were red bliss potatoes, and then I got a whole bunch of red ones, and then I had a few that were actually brown, and they got about like this big, and I would just dig up around it, and I'd take the big ones off and like make sure it was nice and secure, and I let it alone for like another month or so, and I'd come back and there'd be like 4 or 5, and I was like, this is great, because my cat was killing the anodes and putting them in the he was fertilizing the potato plants, and I was eating potato anodes. So yeah, lizard potatoes. Yep, genetically altered potatoes that had some lizard DNA in it. My plant ate it. I only ate the plant that was eating the lizard. That my cat was eating was taking out the lizards. I don't know why he kept trying to take out all those lizards. Honestly, that he kept trying to put them on the what is that thing called? The doormat. I had this little doormat that you could wipe your feet off on. One of those nice ones that were like had this scratchy material that you could just hose off, and it had a little dandelion on the side corner of it. It didn't say welcome or anything. I don't like those ones that say welcome. It's just like begging for trouble. Like flip that. But it had a cute little dandelion on it, and no, I'm sorry, sunflower on it, and I went about I need some of that. I went about with the might flip. You know what, just let me take these and then I'm gonna move them over here. See if I can't combine those. Oh no, I can't because I don't have them over here. But so I kept finding these little lizards on, like dead little lizards on my doormat, and I was like, "Who the hell is killing these?" And my cat came up and just like, "Yeah, that was me." And I was like, "You killed this?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Well, I appreciate you hunting and whatnot and keeping the area clean of predators and whatnot, but I was like, I can't eat this." And he looked at me like, "What?" And I was like, "Well, you can put them in the garden." I was like, "The plants can eat this. The plants would definitely love this, but I can't eat these little lizards." I was like, "My chemistry and their chemistry are not going to allow me to eat these." And he looked at me like, "What are you really?" And because I had a talk with him about the birds, because he started going after the birds, and I was like, "No, no, 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 no." I was like, "I feed the birds because I want the birds to come around. I like them alive." And that's whenever I started getting the little lizards on my porch. So after we had that talk, there ended up being dead lizards all in the yeah. I was like, wow. And not just one, there were quite a few. Quite a few. I was like, wow. I was like, he is quite the avid hunter. And I told him, don't forget the flowers too, because the flowers need some too. And then some of them were in the damn flowers. I was like, wow. I was like, he's really proficient. I wondered if like some of the other neighborhood cats were helping him. I was like, wow. Because like some of the neighborhood cats would sit there and pee in my flower bed. And they do their business in that side, and they would completely leave the potatoes alone, and I was happy about that. I was like, that's grand. I was feeding those neighborhood cats too, so they wouldn't attack the birds. I was like, wow, that's really nice. They're not attacking the birds. They're not putting any dead critters out on my lawn. They're putting them in the bird well, not the bird stuff, but they're putting them in the flower bed. Damn it. I didn't check to see if I had my thingamajig on. While this is going, I wanted to put some of this, whatchamacallit in there? Dead meat stuff. So I was pretty damn proud of Nexus and his accomplishments. He was feeding the plants. I was able to have strong, hearty potatoes. Potatoes were like, yeah, I like this. And I wasn't starving to death, so that was grand. Potatoes. Every so often, I was able to afford some canned tuna. Nexus always had his food. The neighborhood cats always, you know, got a little scoop out of his food. So there was a scoop for Nexus. His bowl was always filled on the inside, and the neighborhood cats got a scoop on the outside, so he always had food outside too. There was a water bowl, and then there was a bird bath that I hand painted. I was like, this is too gray. Alright, I'm gonna make this beautiful. And my next door neighbor thought I had got somebody else to paint it, and I was like, no, I was like, I spray painted it white, and then I went about and I painted the outside a different color. It was one of those like vined kind of things. Okay, so I'm trying to think of how to explain it. It was a bird bath, a stone bird bath, that looked like it had these little flower vines that came up and around. It was only like this big. The damn thing was like maybe 25 pounds. So it was sturdy. It was cement. Well, it wasn't as colorful as I'd like it. So I made it white with green vine, and I made the flowers on it purple with little yellow things coming out of it. I didn't want to make it red. I wanted it purple. And those flowers are naturally supposed to be red and whatnot, so I altered it a little bit to make it purple, okay? So, yeah, punk. But anyways, and then the little bird that was there, there was like a little stone bird to, I guess it was supposed to help the other birds feel like it was a good place to come around. I painted it like a little black and yellow finch with like a little white chest crest, and then the little black and like a canary finch, if you know what that is. I think that's what it was called. Let's get safe and then check that out. Sorry. Let's the website, click that. Canary, I think that's how you spell it. Canary finch. I mean, yeah, these are a canary finch, but there was a specific one that I made it look kind of like that one. But, yeah. And then, let me just pop that back over this way. It was a pretty, yellow that was splashed across. I mean, it got everybody's attention. The birds loved the bird bath, and I would knock it out. The cats drank out of the bird bath. They rather drink out of that than the other bowl that was there. I was like, okay, whatever. They like their water as cool as the cement, I guess. So, there's that. Alright, let's see what we can do over here. I miss Nexus. He was a fantastic kitty. I was there when he was born. He was born June 30th to 31st. Some of the kittens were born on the... damn, that's gonna be hard. Okay. Let's try not to make a mess. Some of the kittens were born on the 30th, and then some of them were born on the 31st. That was, he was a part of Buddy's first litter. We couldn't keep all the kitties, and me and him bonded well, so a very intelligent kitty. I was always told that the male cats would always try to eat the baby cats if they weren't the father, but he was really chill. He was just like, oh mom, you're having babies, are you okay, what's going on, I was surprised. And he helped rear the kittens. I was like, damn. I know he wasn't the father because all of the kittens were this orange color, because there was an orange kitty, orange tomcat, I guess that's what you call them, out there. And all 4 of her next kitties were all orange. 3 of them survived. 1 of them didn't make it because it had the umbilical cord was stuck around one of its legs, and then it lost a leg, which was sad. But then it was fine. It was just walking around fine with only 3 legs, and then it passed, and it was sad. But Nexus was quite the cat, and I miss him. I had to move, and I couldn't find him. And my next door neighbor was already trying, well, not my next door neighbor, but my next door neighbor's daughter was trying to steal my cat. And I was told that if they did, because I told them that I needed to find them, find him, if they found him, to let me know. and everything. I called all of the animal shelters. None of them had seen it. I given them because they were like, oh no, we haven't got any gray tiger kitties, and I was like, well, the other place let me, email them the photo just to make sure, and she's like, oh no, we don't have any, and I'm like, okay, and she's like, well, just in case they do bring any in, just give me the email. So I did. I was like a little paranoid. I was like, wait, so I was like, what if they do get them in? I mean, what the hell? But I gave it to the 3 animal shelters that actually were in the area. He didn't really leave that far from where the house was. And I was freaking out because I couldn't find him and I had to leave and I was already packed up and everything. And George's cat came to live with me like the day before. And she was a Mancoon cat. She was really big. It's like flipping 12 pounds she was. 12, 13. I mean. But she was a big kitty. Nexus would have probably came up to her shoulders how big she was. He was like maybe not even like 2 pounds. He was really thin. And it's not for lack of him eating, because he would sit there and eat. He would just be really athletic. He was as spry as a kitten. It's like when he wanted to play, you had to stop what you were doing. You were going to play with him. I was like, all right. It's like, here we go. He had to be proficient in his hunting. But I couldn't find him. I asked some of the other neighbors, and they said that there was some lady trying to take some of the cats the other night, and I was freaking out. And I was like, it's probably the next door neighbor's daughter who did it. So I tried to like knock on their door, but yet they wouldn't answer after the first time. They were like, oh no, we'll tell you, blah blah blah. Because the next door neighbor saw that the blue car, and the blue car was the next door neighbor's. I was like, she tried to steal my cat twice. I mean, mother flip. It was awful, okay? And I told Nexus not to take any like food from strangers and whatnot, because there were people who were just trying to poison some of these cats, because there's some sadistic Fs out there. There was this old lady trying to gather cats in a gray car, which I flipped out on her, because, like, dude, she had my cat next to her as well as the neighbor's cat, and she was reaching down to pick up. She's like, oh, this is my cat. I said, no, you. I was like, get the F out of here. This is my cat and the next door neighbor's cat. Get the flip out of here, you freak. And she was like, oh, she's like, I live here. And I was like, you better hope you don't live here, because if I find you out here again trying to steal somebody's cats, I'm going to flip you up. I was like, mother flip. But anyways, when I was yelling at this lady, the next door neighbor lady came out. She had like flipping 5 cats of her own. And she was like, what? She's like, what the hell's going on? And the lady peeled off, and I was like, this mother flipper. I was like, remember this gray car? She like tried to steal both of our cats. And she's like, what? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, no. And I was like, yeah. But her daughter came to my house and said, oh, you leave your cat out all the time. You know, he really deserves a good, loving house. And I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about? He loves being outside. I was like, he'll sit there and meow for 20 minutes if you don't let him outside. And then as soon as he goes out and it's too cold, he'll just go, you know, hey, you know, come back here, open the door for me. I want to be in. I'd wake up at flipping 2 o'clock in the morning just to let him in sometimes. He would go next to the bedroom window and he'd go, meow. Wait a second, meow. And I was like, okay, I didn't mishear that the first time, so I would go, okay, Nexus, I'm on my way. And then I'd flip and let him in. He would sit there and meow for like 20 minutes sometimes when it was flipping cold. And I was like, no, I was like, Nexus, every time that I try to let you outside when it's this weather, you just went in like 3 seconds later. I was like, it's not even worth it. But no. He needed to have that freedom to the point where it was annoying. So he sat there and he meowed for like 10-20 minutes. I got up from what I was doing. I set my laptop down. I was doing like studies in school. I was like, fine. I opened the door. I let him out. It was like kind of flipping maybe 30-degree weather at that time. He went outside, went down the stairs, sat down, looked back, and was like, what? And I was like, okay, you want to stay outside? I shut the door. I thought it was going to be less than 10 seconds. It was 2 minutes he waited out there and then wanted right back in. I was like, did you have a nice time out there? I was like, you were gone an awful long time. But yeah. Anyways, the next door neighbor's daughter came around and was like, oh, he's always outside. He deserves a loving home. It's gonna take care of him. And I was like, this home is taking care of him. I was like, yeah. I was like, ask your mom. I'm the one who pays for most of your cat food too, over there. And she was like, no, my mom pays for her cat food and blah blah blah. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. And the mom came back around and apologized for what her daughter was trying to do, and said that like this wasn't going to interrupt our arrangement. And I was like, our arrangement? And she's like, I really do need help with the cat food. And I was like, oh no, that's fine. I was like, it keeps your cats from eating my birds. But yeah. And then the next time I couldn't like get a hold of them. I think she took my cat, honestly. I couldn't find him. He wasn't there. And I feel horrible, cuz like I feel like I left him behind in another state, but he was already captured. And I was like, I needed to like I feel like I need to hunt down those people and like demand my cat. But it's been 10 years. You know what I mean? It was a part of my family. He was a fantastic cat. I loved him very much. They say that the oldest living cat in captivity can live up to, well, has lived up to like 32 years. I was like, wow. Imagine 32 years away from like, well, I mean, he was a good possibly 10 years already. Imagine like another 20 years stuck with people who are strangers because somebody decided to pick you up and put you in a a flippin' car and take you away? Like, who does that? Some sick kidnapping crap. Hope Karma gets that too. Yeah, George's cat that I did manage to bring down with me. She was distraught that she was living with strangers and whatnot, but she came around. She finally believed me that George was no longer with us. He had passed, and that I wasn't there to hurt her, and that seeing how my half-sister didn't want to deal with the cat. I was supposed to take the 2 dogs too, but she said that she was going to keep the dogs, and I was like, oh, okay. Because I was going to spoil the flip out of the dogs too. But George wanted me to have his 2 dogs and his cat. I only got his cat, but it was like, okay, well, don't want to break up the pack of dogs that they already had. But she got sick from the rabies shot. They had never given her one, and in order for her to be in the apartment, she got really, really sick and died from the rabies shot. It was awful. I felt so horrible, and I missed her so damn. They didn't know, like, the apartment didn't know that she was, pretty much there until they were told. It's not like we were sneaking it or hiding it. She was a very quiet cat, and she loved to cuddle. I mean, she wasn't a cuddle kitty either. She really liked to cuddle with me, and then so, yes, I'm breaking the structure. It's all gonna flood. Mwahahaha. What are you gonna do about it? Alright, so they're like, no, you're just joking. But anyways, she liked to cuddle, and I sent some pics of her cuddling with me. She was one of those catnip kitties. Really didn't like the catnip. She'd roll all in it. She had quite a few new toys. She had a little scratching post. Her kitty litter was changed out. Well, it was cleaned every day, and then it was changed out like once a week or 2. It's like, then she got the rabies shot, and then she started pissing everywhere. It was like she had some sort of bladder thing, and then they said that there was nothing they could do for her because she had rabies poisoning, like that it was just going to run its course and she was gonna die. I was like, what? I was like, from a rabies shot? And they're like, well, maybe they gave her a little too much of it. And I was like, what do you mean gave her too much of it? And they're like, well, some cats have a higher sensitivity to this and that. And I was like, no, you can't just like flip and kill a cat. I mean, what the flip is wrong with these people? But she wouldn't eat, but that she ended up just continuously pissing everywhere uncontrollably, and then she ended up drowning in herself. is what they said, and it's just like, are you flipping kidding me? I was like, and she was given to me to take care of, and I felt so horrible. Oh, she's back with Mother Nature. That was the last cat I ever had. 6 years now. 6, 7 years. I have Coco though. It's looking pretty good, huh? I don't want that there. I'm sorry. I get stuck on my sad stories and I don't want to talk anymore. What the flip is this? Is he making a new life for himself? Who pushed him off? Get in the boat. Are you kidding me? How many of these guys are gonna fall off? Did it? It did. I don't know. Do you think I should bring these two up to the other? I do have 2 beds. Been an interesting time. They wanted to get away from it all anyways. Adventure time. Oh, it's not gonna let me put it. Okay. Oh, flip. Damn, sorry. That is a pink sheep. Okay. Can I? There's two more people. I need to make another bet. Can you just scoot over? Don't be stingy. I'm watching you. Some people, I swear. Let's see what kind of trade Danes want. What am I needing for this? One of these smooth stones, okay. Just one of these. don't see the podium. Do you see the podium? Alright, I'm gonna make one of these. Oh. Goody. Let's see if there's any of these in here. Nope. Definitely not. Really? Alright. Wait. Okay. Okay. Scary. I guess he doesn't want to be a librarian. Oh, thank you. Give me a second. Or you can jump. No need to thank me. You jumped down. It was all you. Okie dokie. So. Let's see if I can track down that pink one and get some, get a clipping of it, just as proof. I saw a pink shape. It was the legs of not anyone that I've ever seen before in the wild. There it is. Free haircut. Damn it. Missed 1, 2, 3. Water slide. Whee! Oh, of course. What's this guy doing? Are you stuck? I guess he was. Oh. No, no, please. Okay. Why don't you just what is, dude? I popped all the beds off and there's no more over there. Okay, so you're sinking the one up there, but yet there's one down here with your name on it. I don't know what's going on. Alright, whatever. I'm gonna continue on with my building. Sorry, I was just remembering some weird stuff. Yay! You finally picked up bed down here! Happiness. Oops. Oops. Oh. Menial tasks. Someone's gotta do it. Gotta make it look pretty. Gotta make it look right. Gotta make it look okay. Like you never ever had. Anyways. Been watching a lot of like kitchen gadget things just so that I don't have to watch what's going on in the news. I'm like, this is far better. This is good. I mean, it's not making my blood pressure spike or being stressed out the wazoo because of this or that. Okay, good. That actually has some, I was worried that didn't have the corner bracket thing in there. It's gonna be fun trying to get all that coral. I'm pretty sure it's a hedge clipper that I need in order to do that, but not just any hedge clipper. I need one with silk touch or something like that. Don't ask me how I found that out. I might have had a glitch while I was trying to put silk touch on something else, and then I was like, alright, now I need to put mending on it. Oh, it was fun. Damn it. Alright, so let's see if I can't fix this. Alright, good stuff. Just get it right here. It's a little darker than I need. Right. No accidents. Alright, so thinking about grabbing some books and bringing them over here. Okay, so it's looking pretty damn good so far. I mean, yeah, I'm still gonna get the coral, but it's still looking pretty damn good. I'm gonna put some of this, screws. Out of all of that, only 14, really? A little disappointed. Now it's cotton candy. Looks like the fish cotton candy too. The one I named Cotton, because it looks like cotton candy. Well, it does, I mean. I don't know, should I take some of these and then go on an adventure with them? Take them to the mycelium area? That'd be interesting, right? Damn it. Micah. Just go into the hole. Just get in the hole, Micah. Okay. Love you, Micah. What you got? Tropical fish. Yes. Three tropical fish. Ecosystem's already getting better. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? Brown shape again. I'm definitely not letting loose any damn, what are those things called? Blowfish. They're too OP. I'd never be able to get in the water again. Oh, no self-respect, 'cause they won't close the door. So, there was, like, I watch all kind of weird stuff. Well, someone was, who's slightly giving me updates to what's going on in the world, had did something nice and motivational. What? Come on, dude, I need more of these. A whole stack of this crap. Fine, I'll grab some of your damn brain coral. Come back with a yellow or blue. But oxygen, oxygen. Gonna put some over here so we can see some. It's gonna take forever. I'm gonna go to that one area that's just crap ton of whatchamacallit, coral, and then go ham on it. you go. Alright, one. I put down 4 of these things, but I only see one. One fish. I bought 4 fish. Where did they go? Are they exploring? Maybe. Are they gone forever? I mean, it is a big area. Maybe they went back out to sea. Well, if you follow that river all the way, like, down, you might be able to get somewhere. Maybe they're just underneath. Okay, there's one. That's the same one? I should have named them. How the flip did you... I don't want to hit it. Really? There we go. I could possibly see them better out and about while I'm underneath the water, but I am... So, okay, there's one. That's cool. That's cool. I need to get some cod, and I need to get some of the other fishies too. Make it look natural. Okay. I don't see any. Okay, there's one far back off that way. It's like, did I just waste 10 coins maybe? Oh, there's a villager. just heard a little... Are they still breeding? One... Alright, I pushed Micah down here. Where did the other one go? Is he stuck behind one? Is he peering out a window? What is going on? No, he's behind. Okay. I thought I lost one of the iron golems. I was like, who the hell killed it? What's going on? Oh, there's one of the fishies! Alright, so now I know that there are actually two in here. Yeah. That is a witch. I was like, is that a witch out there? It's like all the enemies, it's just that witch. Holy flip! Well, they're the ones that weaken you the most and everything else goes, oh, num num. It's like the witch or the, I don't know whether you've ever played Overlord or not, but they're like the elves ringing the dinner bell for everyone else, and you know, it's like our dwarves. What, I don't remember which one they were, but it was scary. There was this scene in Overlords 2. Okay, so Overlord 1, you were was it Overlord 1 or Overlord 2? I'm gonna say 2. Okay, so Overlord 2 was, I had to remember, I'm sorry. It takes a second sometimes. So, Overlord 2 was a cute little Xbox game, I think. I had played it on Xbox. Yes, I wasn't always a PlayStation member. I couldn't afford it, and at the time, Xbox didn't have that, oh, you have to pay for like Xbox Live in order to flip and play the games. It's like the games I wanted to play were not online. They definitely weren't online. But whenever they started becoming online, like, well, the games I played didn't go online, but whenever it was like, no, 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 you have to have Xbox Live in order to play, I was like, what? Me poor? No, no. You know? But, suffice to say, ended up, my ex got talked into getting a PlayStation because that's what everyone he was talking to was playing. So then he wanted to be part of the gang. And yeah, got one of those, PlayStation 3. And I finally got to play a little bit of the Xbox even more, and then I couldn't play it at all because of the Xbox Live thing. So then I was like, sucky, nasty cuckiness. And I still have Viva Pinata on it, but I don't need the damn Xbox Live crap. I'm just like, no, not on the server, not on the server. But anyways, they kept giving me these damn cards because the Xbox arcade just kept busting on me. And as many times as we kept giving it to them to fix, they would wipe my my memory, and then wipe the memory off of the device, and then that was their extent of fixing it. So me playing it again just ended up making it have the red light of death, which was the Xbox okay, so when certain game systems go down, people, like gamers, have these little for PlayStation, it's the blue screen of death. It gives you like an error message and whatnot. For Xbox, the green little button that's always green turns red after it's like orange. It's like in between orange and red. And what their quick fix is erasing the memory and then giving it back. And then giving you a month of Xbox Live with it. So it was like, okay, so I had all these damn Xbox Live cards that I wasn't using because I didn't have to at the time. But whenever they enforced that you had to have it in order to play any of the games, I was like, nope, I'm done. F this. And then PlayStation was already enforcing that kind of stuff, and my ex was already in the PlayStation. I'm just like, why? Just why? I was like, why do I have to, like, why do you have to pay monthly subscriptions just to be able to play games? It's stupid in my book. It's really stupid. But it's like, oh no, it's just the online multiplayer stuff. I'm like, sure. But anyways, I got some games on, like, I traded in my Xbox games for some PlayStation games since they were already like a couple years not in the relevant for most people. So it was like quick trades and whatnot. I always end up playing games when they're more likely not relevant, which is weird. Sometimes they even come back around and it's retro. Just like, alright, cool. People are like, I played this game when it wasn't cool, and I'm like, well, it must have been cool all along because it's coming back around. But you know, some games are just so amazing that you just can't stop playing them. Am I hinting towards Minecraft? No. You've effed me over many times, Mojang. All of those times you've thrown me into the lava. And the nether, I am not forgetting that. But yes, I do think your game's kind of cute. I'm still angry about it. I want a formal apology. It's like, we're sorry, Ace, that we cheated you several times out of your awesome gear in the lava. Made you fall off on for no reason and glitch out your game to the point where it flippin' mucked you over. Want a flippin' formal apology. It hurt my feelings. I was like, wow, this game really doesn't want me playing it. It's like, wow. If I wasn't asked so much to play this game, then I wouldn't have played it. Cause I'm like, it's not my jam, and I was like, oh, I love Terraria, you know, and they were like, oh, you know, Minecraft is just like Terraria, only better, and I'm like, okay. And they're like, your character's this big, and I was like, I don't care. It's like, I flippin' like Terraria. I was like, look at all my stuff. Look at how much I've done. I have multiple worlds. I was starting to make a water world. I was making all kind of things. I made like 4 cell phones. 4 cell phones. Do you know how hard that is? You gotta get the sextant, the flipping all kind of different crazy crap. Just from the that awful fisherman who sits there and treats you like crap. I was like, you're no fisherman. You're just a lazy butt who pretends that you're catching fish. I don't like him. If I could name him, I'd name him Poo Poo Head. But, they have their own names. That would be my go-to, just Poo Poo Head. What's up? What's going on? I'm just altering things just a little bit. What are you doing? Talking about Terraria and how yins are far better than the fishermen. Yins are by far a 10, even with the frustration and anger that yins provide. A 10 compared to the fishermen in flippin' Terraria. Not even the bosses made me as angry as the flippin' fisherman. He had so many awful comments. I was like, I will find you. It's not like catch me outside. It's like, just give him a sword. Just give him a sword. We'll end this now. I was like, give him a Terra Blade too. Let's make this fair. He'd call you all kind of things. I was like, dude, I don't appreciate this. It's like, just give me what I need and I will go away. He ended up not giving me anything I needed. Kept giving me mermaid like tails and flippin' boat oar things. I was like, what the flip is this guy on? Who the hell wants this many mermaid costumes or creature from the deep Black Lagoon or whatever costumes? I was like, what the flip is... It's like opening a whole bunch of Christmas bags and getting just a bunch of reefs. It's like, why do I need all these reefs? This is not reefdom gum or something. It's like flipping... It's Christmas Town. I made a whole Christmas room with all the damn decorations I got from it. It was like, I did have a mushroom room too. It was fantastic. You know who ended up moving into it? Well, first it was the painter until the painter died. Don't ask me how. People kept bringing enemies into my house. I'm like, what the flip are you doing? I was like, I like everybody's name the way I like it. It's like, get them away from us. But anyways, so the painter died, and the golem died, and then, oh damn, I wasn't prepared with that one. The golem died, and then the my nurse died a few times, which I was really sad. But then she ended up getting the name that I liked. She shared a name with my mom. I'm not gonna mention it because, like, yeah, you know. But yeah, she shared a name with my mom, and I was like, this is my favorite healer. I'm just gonna keep her like this. I was like, this is. She passed away when I was 6, so, you know, missing memorabilia kind of thing, so. Anyways. Well, when we get into the memorabilia thing, anything you say logically with a female trying to get rid of some sort of thing that is reminding them of something else is more than impossible. It is a end of the world kind of scenario where you're not going to get your 2 cents heard because it's memorabilia. I don't go too far with my memorabilia, but like when I have things that I really like, no, whoops, damn it. But anyways, I have a few trinkets that I will never throw away because they're memorable to me. I have some favorites that I have because they are like memorabilia. Even though I don't have the actual books, they are my favorite books and some favorite songs because of special memories that I've had with certain people. Like I would read this one story, like I read it to my younger brother, and then I read it to some other people who are very special to me. And this book will never ever, leave my heart. It is always there, and I will never ever forget it. And anyone who tries to make me forget it, I will end them. It's that serious. It's like, I don't have to own the book. I really don't. But if you try to like mind wipe me from that book, no. It's gonna be like a probability of 0 chance to do so. And this isn't a challenge. This is me putting my foot down and saying that if you even try, you are going to die. That is how important it is to me. So, that being said, I hope we have, understanding. So, yes, this is me telling someone not to mind wipe me to forget a book. This is happening right now. Alright, so, because there are some critters out there that are amazing and fantastical, and they have possibly the ability to do so. And I do not want that book to go anywhere. So if somebody had like altered the very fabric of time and space, I would still remember that flippin' book. What book? The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle. Yes, that little book. I love that book. This is one of the first books I learned to read. It was one of the first books that I read to my younger brother. It was one of the first books that I read to two very special people. And, you know, I got a lot of memories with that. I'd never trade that for anything. Damn it, I can't get this spot. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna have to collect some of these damn dirt things. I'm wasting all this dirt out there. I'm sure the rest of them are gone, but just in case. Just peeking. Alright. Whoa, what is that? Damn, I was like, that's definitely not a dolphin. I don't remember them being that color. I'm gonna have to change out the other side with... Oh, damn, there's dirt I forgot right there. But I'm gonna have to change out the outside of this with the glass on this side. So that should be fun. Wow, I didn't put those in? Flip! Alright, well, I got to talking and I forgot. My bad. I'd like to say it happens, but, you know, sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. I don't normally make those types of follies, but... Alright, so... Just grab some of that. Just one up there. I mean, it's looking pretty damn good so far. I think I just have this one little bit of the wall. I'll get that done and then, should be like Betty by time. Well, I got 21, so let me just go down there. Wait, what do you got? Hey. You're really out still? But I was about to drop a fish. Some people would kill you for lesser. Yeah, that was me and Coco. I'm sorry. But it is true. I've seen people like sit there and take out the traveling merchant just for not having what they needed. And they're like, well, another one's gonna spawn. I was like, well, what the flip? You just killed him because he didn't have what you needed? Like, yeah, I mean, it's like, what? I was like, remind me never to sell anything to you. It's like, if I don't have something you don't want, you just like take me out. What the flip? Oh. No. Sorry. False alarm, people, false alarm. It's a little leak, but it's okay now. It's all taken care of. It's all good. We're good. I possibly could just put that up so far. I can like open it again if there's any, you know, any stuff I need to put down there again. There we go. Oh. I think there's five snow that I need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What are you? to bring some other stuff down there for them. I think my librarian's happy. I could leave the rest of this for tomorrow. As I sit here and make minor alterations. Mother flip. You kidding me? It's like I thought you already got some like nighttime stuff. Where? Is that not your bookcase? Should I make you a new one? What is wrong? Because there's like already 3 flippin'... What are those things called? There's one. Librarian. And then there's only... Okay, so there's 4 librarians, but then there's only 2 of these. Which is like, what? Are you stuck on that? You just really like the post. Okay. Oh, what a cute kitty. Okay, so I'm gonna leave a... So I got a smidge left. I got most of the other stuff done, and then I have to go on a mad adventure for coral and basalt, whatever this is. Should be interesting. Alright, so let's save, quit. We did grab the present for the day. Which off. Oh, happy Friday the 13th. Because today's one of those holidays that never... Okay, so Friday the 13th, most people think that this is the most unlucky day of the year. This is actually one of a good good luck days in my book. I love 13. Yeah, it's one of my favorite numbers. My only favorite odd number. The rest of the other even numbers I'm pretty damn happy about. I'm like, I don't like odd numbers except for 13. And I think that's because everybody singled it out because of superstition. And I'm like, aw, 13, come here, you're mine now. But, yeah. It's a lot of, oh my goodness, there's so much superstition about it. Like, people sit there and say that 13 is a bad luck number on the floor 13. Something bad happens, so that they skip 13 on like hotels. It's weird. It's really weird. People actually have hotels, motels that like they will skip floor 13. So it'll go 12, 14. Sometimes they'll even do 12 and a half and then 14. I'm just like, they won't acknowledge it. I'm just like, wow. And I was like, okay, dude, I was like, if I ever get in the hotel motel business, I'm gonna have every floor 13 or something. I'm like, this is 13A, this is 13B, this is 13. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have it at the Hard Luck Hotel, maybe. Who knows? I'm sure in a few days someone will actually have that as a flippin' thing. But, you know, whatever. It's like, ugh. Okay, so my younger brother he has a birthday on the 13th. I'm not gonna say which month, but he was so freaked out this one day because like his schoolmates had like freaked him out because 13 is such a bad one. So I was like, what? I was like, no, we're gonna have the best flippin' birthday ever because it's Friday the 13th. I was like, we're gonna watch horror flicks, Friday the 13th style, and so there is this child who he was neglected by bees. Anyways, there was this child in this horror movie that was neglected by camp counselors, and then when he died due to their neglect, he got sent to hell. And I was like, what kind of unfair justice is this kind of stupid crap? But anyways, he was allowed to come back whenever his mother went kind of crazy, and she went about killing the school counselors, camp counselors who had neglected their duties and responsibilities and pretty much killed her child. You know, like any distraught mother, she went a little, cuckoo bonkers, and rightfully so. I mean, dude. But because they were gonna get away with it. They did get away with it. The camp counselor was like, oh no, we told them not to go over there and blah blah blah. The other they're not students, they're flipping, they're not school kids either. I'm trying to think of what the name, like camper. The other campers were making fun of them and being mean to him because he was not as normal as everyone else. He looked different than everyone else because of the way he was born, and his genetics were, there were some mutations, discrepancies, something happened. And he didn't look like everyone else, so instead of being a normal person, like people being normal to him, they were all like, and whatnot. And then they made fun of him because of it, which was horrible. I mean, dude, it was horrible. But they ended up throwing him in hell And I was like, what the flying flip is this crap? I was so pissed off. But see, what had happened was he grew up in hell and then came back and avenged his mother, who had tried to avenge him and got taken down after he had avenged them. Avenged her son. Well, he loved his mother more than anything, and they had a grand relationship. She was doting and kind and compassionate towards him, and she was like a school nurse or something. She was doing something for the school, and she was able, her son was able to be there because she was working for the camp. Sorry, I keep saying school. But moving on in the story, the sequels, he just keeps coming back because the counselors keep doing the same damn things. So it's like he keeps coming back to right the wrongs of people not hiring the right kind of people, and I'm just like, what is this? Like, is he HR? What happened? It's like, but yeah, it was interesting. I but we watched those movies while he was having his like birthday and whatnot, because some of them were on cable and we caught a little bit of one, and then George was like, what are you watching? And we're like, Friday the 13th. They're like, they still play that? And we're like, but we had watched like one of them, and they didn't have all the newer ones where they changed the lore a bit. They even have a flippin' game for that too. I played that a few times. I got really into it for a little bit. I was trying to achievement hunt in it, and it was interesting. Yeah. It got interesting. You had to hold on. Let's take a walk with me. Just take a walk with me. Come here. Let's go through my inventory. I think it's in the F's. Okay, so it might be in the purchase games. So everything you get for free on the monthly, it goes into your purchase games. My game was actually purchased by a friend of mine at the time. She said that she needed somebody to play with him. There it is. To play with her boyfriend and everything, because he keeps trying to get her to play it, and she's terrified of this, and she said that it would be right up my alley, and I was like, dude, I can't afford this. I'm broke, I make no money. I can't, And she's like, oh no, it's okay, I'll buy it. And I was like, whoa, that was the first game anyone's ever bought for me. I was like, damn. But yeah, I mean, like, just, it was cool. Played this for a couple months with him, and then it came out for free, like, later on. And it was like, okay. We ended up getting in, like, this squabble because she kept inviting these womanizing, kind of horrible people back into the guild after I kept taking them out. And then she was actually selling the food that I was preparing for her, because she said that she kept giving it to some of the other guildmates, and I had given her some food to give to somebody else, because she said that she was around them at the time and she was gonna find them, and then she said that she forgot, but I had to make more of that food just for them, and I sent it to them in the letter, and then she said that she'd given them some, and then I asked that person if she had honestly given them any, and they were like, no, I only got your message. And I was like, dude, why are you lying to me? I was like, if you need some like flipping cash and stuff, come with me. I'll like run you around the flipping field, and I'll show you where all the good places to loot crap are. I'll walk you through this. It'll be grand. No, no. And then she kept saying that she wanted to be in charge of something, and I was like, okay, fishing Friday, go ahead. And then she's like, well, I can't do Fridays, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, what the flip, dude? I was like, okay, well, what do you want to do? Oh, no, I don't know, but, And then she agreed to fishing Fridays, but then she kept calling out to miss fishing Fridays, and I was like, okay. And then she's like, well, because I have to do this and that and that and this. And I was like, well, why do you want to be in charge of something so much if you can't do this? You don't have time to even play. I was like, why can't you just be a valid member of the guild? I was like, nobody's expecting anything of you. Just play when you want to play. You don't have to be in charge of anything. But she kept... I warned her like 3 times because I had got somebody to ask the people who kept getting invited to the guild, to ask them how they got in, because I had a message on the message board saying not to let these 2 people in, and everybody else was just like, no, I didn't let them in. I didn't invite them. And there was no way to block somebody if they came in. So I would have to go through 200 and something people, possibly. Like, we were up to 327, not including myself. And yeah, so we were up to 327, not counting ourselves, and I had to comb that damn thing multiple times just to kick these people out, because as soon as they got in, they started throwing trash in the inventory and into the guild bank, so nobody could donate, so nobody could get a lottery ticket. And then they sat there and polluted the guild chat with like a whole lot of awful stuff, and they were harassing the female people in the guild. Kept saying that the ones that were in long committed relationships and the ones that were married wanted them, and causing commotion in between them. I was like, they're just a bunch of internet trolls. Why? I was like, who keeps inviting them? So every time I saw their names, I'd kick them. I was like, no, they're not even allowed in here. I put a damn message on the flippin'... on the damn, flip frack, holy tallywhack, on the guild chat message, just so that people wouldn't, invite them. And then, sorry about that, I was trying not to, anyways, just so people wouldn't invite them. And turns out she was the one inviting them, and she admitted to it once, and I said, don't invite them. She's like, but I'm in another guild they're in. And I was like, what, the one that they said they were going to funnel all of the guild mates that they're harassing in this guild into? Because they threatened that. I was like, I heartily doubt you're going to be able to convince anyone to come to your guild. I mean, it was just them 2 and the person in mention. Oh my goodness. And I was just like, dude. I was like, look at the flippin' message and the thing. She's like, well, I didn't think you really meant that. And I was like, it's in the guild chat for them not to be invited into the thing. And then she ended up still giving them money and still giving them flippin' materials from the guild. I was like, they're not members of the... She's like, well, they need help. And I was like, they're selling the crap. And she's like, well, they're giving me money for it. And I was like, you just admitted that you're selling materials from the guild that you had claimed for weeks that you have been giving to guild members. To these people who you keep inviting. I was like, no, I'm done with this. I was like, I'm done with your toxic relationship. I am done with this. So I just flipping went about, or I went after my friends list. I kicked them off. I kicked her out of the guild. I kicked her boyfriend out. I kicked her boyfriend out of the guild. And I was like, that's it. And then he was like, thank Jesus, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, I thought this would never happen. I said, I have a limit. I really do have a limit. I was like, not only did she lie to me, like, on multiple occasions, she was wasting my time, she was wasting the guild's resources. I was like, how low can you get? For real. I was like, I'm sorry that you wasted like $20, $30 to buy me a video game and sit there and try to guilt me into stuff with this video. I was like, you're the one that tried to get me to play this so that your boyfriend would have something to do. What do you want me to do? It's like, fine. I was like, I'll delete this game. It came out like 3-4 months later, and I was like, all I had to do was wait 3 to 4 months. I mean, whatever. I mean, you just can't win with some people. I felt used and abused. I was like, this is supposed to be a game. It's supposed to be fun, engaging, fun. Something you do to escape things. And then there's all this drama because of it. I was like, what the flip? I was like, I'm not a flippin' catty person. I'm really not. I love cats, but like there is a negative connotation to like when people say catty person, they mean that somebody who is spiteful, and I know it's a stupid thing, but they mean like a spiteful person who's always ready to fight with the opposite, or not the opposite, but their same sex and whatnot. I get along fine with people who don't want to be jealous fools. I get along fine with people who want to sit there and have actual conversations. I'm not going to be able to tell you what the latest brand name of this or that makeup or whatever. I don't wear makeup. I'm sorry, I can't relate. I don't really wear makeup at all. Unless I'm told to. Anyways, but that's another story. Maybe Halloween makeup, that's fun, you know. I put a lot of like black face paint on so that I could wear my crow mask. Cause I did a whole neck and then the bottom half, and then the crow mask comes this way. I had glued an old pair of glasses on the eye holes so I could see out of it, because like putting these ones over top of it didn't work because I couldn't see. So I'm just like, glue gun. I had a pair of old glasses. Some fantastic mask alteration. The only problem is the way the mask is designed, it kind of crushes against the skull, so I wadded up like a piece of tissue and set it on the nose, so it ended up being fine after that. I was like, who would design something like this? I mean, do people not have like noses or nose bridges or something? Maybe it's my forehead being too big. I don't know. But I've worn masks before and they didn't kill my nose. There's like a flippin' big beak out of the damn thing. I don't know what the hell's wrong with it. But anyways, I just glued my little lenses on the outside of it and put the mask to where it like curls over right there, and then little what is that thing called? This thing. Paper towel. Folded up a paper towel and set it right there so that it didn't like push into my eyes. Whatever. But yeah, video games aren't supposed to be stressful. I mean, like, little parts of it can be, but playing with other people, is that really supposed to be stressful? Unless you're playing a PvP game and people aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. I mean, it's a guild, for Pete's sake. There's not much to do in a flipping guild. Anyways, I think I've yabbered on enough. Thank you for listening. Have a good night.